Hello, Gwenters, and welcome back for another episode of Gone Gwenting. Today is Firesworn Friday, and we're going to be covering a deck I like to call "Can't Touch This." It's it's pretty fun. It's a little bit weird. So basically, the whole premise is you're going to use Sucrus, Azar, and his Scarabs to get Perpetual Taunt. They can't be removed, and then for just like really good cadence tempo, we're going to use Bincy and just tons of coins. So if we're on blue coin, we get Tiger's Eye. We have Oniromancy for some consistency. Igor's here to help proc some more of those Fallen Knights. Then we've got Von Hurst and Roderick for coins and just good engine power in delivering those units. Flying Redanian is a great card here, and it'll be a target for line of credit to get us 6 coins. And then we've got our congregations, tax collectors as perpetual coin earners. Imki also as a perpetual coin earner. So lots of coins coming in. You could, if you wanted to flip things around, you could go townsfolk. They could work really well with this deck as well. You could maybe like downgrade a cleric into an Eternal Fire Disciple as well as a tax collector. But I like the cleric and disciple as just good spenders options for that. This deck, if anything, is a little light on spending, so that might be something you want to think about if you'd like to carry this deck further. Jacques, Miraculous Child, being a really good option for that. But let's just jump into some gameplay, show you a bit how this deck works. I think the other things to keep in mind, this deck really likes long rounds for round 3, but you don't have to have them with the leader ability. And you could run Hidden Cash. I tried it. It wasn't as effective. You lose 2 coins, and I had been running Kurt with that. He no longer has Intimidate, so he's less powerful. So I don't think he's as good of an option. I would rather have Savala. And Savala's Frightener, importantly, is a spawned unit. So that's really going to matter for those Fallen Knights. Alright, this Ekimara is an interesting deck running a lot of removal. So just something for us to be aware of. I think Tax Collector and Roderick are going to come out with Bincy here. Probably even Saul. But we got both of these. We've got a decent spender here. Lonely Champion is good for eating up these guys. And then we'll use Line of Credit to get rid of Flying Redanian. So I'm actually pretty happy with this normally. But I'd like to see some other options. Sucrus and Azar just for later rounds. The only downside about this deck is, like, if you do draw your congregations, you have to save them. You don't really have much of an option with that. This 4-point card, too, is going to be susceptible to a Maruna steal, but it also makes it so if he tries to steal something of greater value later on, it's going to become problematic for him. This is kind of a poor choice in my opinion because he does steal this tax collector, but what good does that do him? It's not really a good engine that he can find value from. I would have rather taken Roderick if I was him later on. Other units that could be good, Fallen Knights. You could damage Imki and take her. I mean, just lots of other better options. I think the season of removal, as I'm calling it for the next few days, is so hyper and laser focused on getting removal that it doesn't really know how to deal with how and when to do that removal. You're just kind of so laser focused on getting it that you don't really think too hard about, oh, what else are they going to play? Should I use it now or should I save it for later? And I think that's definitely a downside people should be thinking a little bit more about, in my opinion. But here we're going to be able to, this Roderick's going to stick. We'll bring out Bincy. And we'll rip Tiger's Eye. She goes up to 8, and then she'll go up to 9 with Roderick. We miss out on some coins if we put down Eternal Fire Disciple, so instead I think we'll go for Saul here. And since he is going for Winter Queen and this Red Riders, I think we'll put Saul on the melee just because he'll get enough coins. The thing about Saul, especially since we're not running Hidden Cache, you want to make sure you get your order right. You want to put him after Roderick. That way he's benefiting from those coins. And Bensi goes up by 1 right there. The bigger question now is what do we do with our coins? And again, like I said, the one weakness I think from this deck, and it is a pretty stiff weakness, is what to do with your coins after you have them. And I think here we'll actually be using Eternal Fire Disciple. We just miss out on his 2 coins. That's unfortunate, but we got to make sure we're still earning them for Bensi. I'll play this first, then go ahead and use this excommunication. Oh, we get way too many good options here. I didn't think we'd draw into our 3 best cards. Yeah, we just went down to 6 coins. I guess here we'll go for Azar. He'll earn 3 coins and then immediately spend them. So that actually works out for us. Just, that was unfortunate, truly. 7, I think we can actually go ahead and spawn this guy now. We don't need that coin gain. We'll be able to spend this down to 4 and then go back up to, it'll be up to 9, but still great spend there. So typically I would put Sucrus next to one of these Scarabs, but just because we are where we are at this point, I'll probably save him for the Fallen Knights. You can't use him next to Igor. Actually, he might even go better next to Von Hurst. But you can't use him next to Igor because you need Igor's Insanity to proc. Alright, so we'll go ahead and use this. And then use Line of Credit on Flying Redanian. You want to use it on Flying Redanian because you go back up to 9 coins. That's all going to cash for Bensi. And then you're going to be able to get it back out again because of the 9 coins. Because it goes to your graveyard. You don't want to use the Banish card. You really don't want to use Excommunication because it will be banished from the game. And that will be terribly unfortunate for you and all of your people. Here, I think... we have Firesworn in the melee. I normally would have preferred to save Congregation, but here I think we actually want to just take this round because we can. Otherwise we lose on evens. That generates us 1 coin for Bensi there. So kind of in a tight spot here. But we've pushed out his Oberon. That's a lot of points for him, though. That's a very lucky draw. Now we can actually get here. Put Sucrus next to Saul. That's going to get him to 3. So if he passes, we can pass and we'll still take this. Oh, that was my last card. Oh, God, do your maths. Do your maths. All right, don't make mistakes like I make them. All right, well, that didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. But we're still in this. These guys are going to play well with Igor. Oh, not my best move. And he's going to use Haunt to push us out of this round. Luckily, we are just below 5 coins, so we can go ahead and get that knight out. Although we may want to actually get it twice. Ah, Manticore. Yeah, I did not play this game correctly. So, we include bad footage so you can know how not to play it. Yeah, this game's over. There's no way out of this for us. Excuse me. I just finished setting up my desk today. That was a glorious endeavor. It's yielded great results, but that was exhausting. Let's jump back in and be a little bit more thoughtful. I get so overcome with the desire to show you guys how the cool things you can do with these decks. I don't really think whether or not it's actually a good idea. And clearly didn't do my math there. I was so convinced it would come back to me that Saul would get those 3 points that I didn't have to worry, but was not the case. But I need to string together some wins. I keep getting like 4 wins and 4 losses. I always like get a really good deck. Like Skellige's a really good example. And I get bored of winning, oddly enough, especially by a lot. It's like, come on, give me something difficult. Yeah, I don't really love this removal. I'm a little tired of removal decks. So Flying Redanian's a brick. You definitely want it in your deck. And you don't need more than one Lonely Champion. We get Bincy again. We probably don't need either of them this round, to be honest. We'll go with our same play as last time. We just need to gain some coins, get out Flying Redanian. We can get out Bincy and Saul for round 1. And then save up our Knights and Congregations for round 3. Or round 2 if we get pushed. Ozar is also very good because he spawns 2 defenders, so it makes it really difficult for a lot of these removal decks to get to work. Alright, it's points, so we're just going to take them. So avoid Manticore by boosting her up as well, like we learned from last game. Downside about this deck is you do have to actually get to 9. Hidden Cache would only be 7 for Flying Redanian, so we do have to find a way to get to 9. It's very doable though. Alright, I think he's trying to push us within reach here. Let's actually do this. See if we can get some better options. This is perfect. That gets us to 9, boosts her to 6. We made him lose his Parasite, and he doesn't even get a good removal off of it. So that worked out really well for us. And we also get a Spender here too, which we kind of desperately needed. Again, I think that's probably the weakest thing in this deck. Could just use another Spender. Probably, maybe swap out one of these Lonely Champions for Street Urchins. I think would be a really good option. Okay, we get Perpetual Coin. Just need to set Saul after the Tax Collector. With Roderick, we were able to put him on melee, but now we do have to move him all to ranged. We need Eternal Fire Disciple to hang in there just a little longer. The other good thing too, we can use this line of credit to banish this Flying Redanian. Even if we don't get full number of coins, it'll come back at 3 points instead of damage, because it will be damaged here. No matter how we try to cut this, it is going to get damaged. So he's smart. Gets good removal there. That kind of forces our hand to decide how much we want to carry this. Oh, we don't have great spenders, so it's tough to want to carry this for a really long time. But Von Hurst is a spender. Does get us some perpetual units. Though I'd really prefer to save him for later. It might be good to get out some of our opponent's removal now. We can use our leader ability if we need to proc a couple more. I'd prefer to save that for the final round, though. But at this point, line of credit's just going to be worth points for us on Flying Redanian, and however many of these units we can transform. Maybe use Congregation as well. I could use this one Fallen Knight and save another Fallen Knight. Because of Igor, we can kind of proc several of those. I really would have liked to have seen Oneiromancy just so I can have some confidence with that. This is dangerous. He grabbed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, and that was not the unit he wanted to grab. So we'll send some jeering notes over to him. Alright, I think we're actually getting a decent number of points per turn. Flying Redanian I'm not super concerned about. I mean, I maybe want to get something else out of him. But he's going to go up by 3. She's stuck, but he's going to generate 2 points. So here I actually think, why don't we get out a Fallen Knight? And we'll transform this guy. Just so Bincy goes up by 1 more. And now we've added a considerable edge to our opponent. Fallen Knight's getting boosted. Saul's getting boosted. We can't spend the coins fast enough to get Bincy boosted. But that worked out pretty well. We were able to close out this round. And we can use line of credit to bump up our coins to maximum value and get out Flying Redanian if we need to this next turn. But let's see what we get. I think I'd prefer to keep one, and then we can use Eavesdrop to get a different card. It's a good thinning move, and it gets us our coins. So I would really like to see Savola, Igor, and Oneiromancy. Azar and Imki would be really good, but I would really want to see these two, or at least Oneiromancy. But here we can use Eavesdrop to go up to 9 coins. And we'll get a different card that we would prefer. Or we just actually... So we basically can take that and put it at the bottom of our deck. So we won't draw into it next round. So that works out for us. We are still stuck with the one that we don't really need. But this is fine. He does need to play a 4-point card. And if he does that, he will be able to get some value here. I think we'll actually go for... I don't want to be a card down, so we'll go for Cleric of the Flaming Rose. He'll sit out here, and we won't pay the tribute. So he won't spawn anyone, but we'll stay at 9 coins. That'll bring out Flying Redanian. We force him to make another move. And we can play this line of credit. Again, it's kind of a delaying tactic that I would normally prefer not to make, but we're kind of in a pinched position here. You can also go for this Congregation, proc 3 units, and transform all of them. That could be actually good points for us. Normally I'd prefer to use that with our Fallen Knight, but because there's so many other cards we're trying to draw into, that might be a better choice for us this round. And some might say, well, why don't you just go ahead and dry pass this round? Well, it is really helpful to be at 4 coins when you start, the final round, and we would have otherwise been at only 2 coins because you carry over half of your coin value rounded down. So Syndicate really does like to go into a bleed situation. I also am guessing that he has a lot of good things that he doesn't want to play, which is why he's taking so long to figure out a 3-point play here. And it looks like he just misses a card, so we're going to go ahead and pass. I think our opponent may have just walked away. I kind of doubt that that was a specific tactic that he was trying to use. I do think he prematurely used Striga, especially on a 9-coin Flying Redanian. It wasn't going to find really good value. Yeah, I think our opponent just must have stepped away, went to go get some lunch, or fell asleep playing the game, and unfortunately I think they're going to end up losing this match. I do think that there should be a way for you to just automatically end a turn, because it could actually be strategic in certain situations to just go ahead and discard a card. I defer to the community. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If they were to do that, do you think that it should be a random discard, or you get to choose which card to discard? Personally, I think it would add some flair to the game if you could choose a card to discard. And it's not really like a mulligan, because you're not getting a different card back. You're just choosing to pass a turn and not use one of your cards. But let me know what you guys think. Well, I think we've showcased basically how this deck works, but we'll give it one more game. Thinking of Artem out there, I know you like multiple games, Artem, so let's go ahead and jump into one more. See if we can't get Oneiromancy. That'd be nice. I think of like the last 10 games, maybe even 20 games I've streamed, I've gotten Oneiromancy to hand in round 1 like 2 times. It's been really low. You have like a 12 and 25 chance to get it, right? So ugh. Alright. Flying Redanian goes to deck. Don't need 2 Lonely Champions. And I should have changed one of these out in the meantime. When I post the final deck list, I'll have it changed for Street Urchins. I think they're just a better option. And you could, if you wanted to go full baller mode, get rid of Oneiromancy and add in Passiflora. Very good. Very good deck. Very good card to use. Alright, so here we can use our card. We are on red coin. And this deck is not heavy in removal by any means. So I think right now let's just get some passive coin generation going. And we might be exiting this round rather quickly. But Assimilate provides for some interesting opportunities. Syndicate, in my opinion, is the best counter to Double Cross as a leader ability. I think we're going to see Double Cross change. It does allow for 2 cards to be played in 1 round, so that might be something that we could see changed here shortly in the future. We'll just get both of our passive coin generators going. If we can get to 9 coins this round just to get out Flying Redanian, that would be helpful. Not totally necessary, but it would be helpful. We have both of our Fallen Knights, Ozar and Igor. So we've got a good package waiting for constant spawn generation. So we could actually go ahead and use them this turn if we really wanted to. I'd like to see him commit a little bit more before I chose to do that, though. So So at 3 coins, we're going to go to 5. So here, I'm actually going to do something a little crazy. We're going to play an Oneiromancy into a Bincy. Just like to see her round 1. She just has such great value. Since we're going to be adding up these coins a little slower coming up here pretty soon. And we actually could drop down Igor and Azar. Azar plays really well with Bincy because you get that protection, but he has that 3 coin profit with a 3 coin tribute. So you'll go back down to whatever your coins were, to a maximum of 6. Loss of congregation actually does hurt us with these Fallen Knights, but in terms of what benefits him, that probably wasn't the best choice. So here I actually think we might go for Azar with a Lieutenant von Hurst and these Fallen Knights, just because I think we're entering it. He may be playing a mill deck. She gets 3 coins from that. Then we go up to 7. Next turn we'll be at 9. And then we can actually just use Igor to do some fun stuff here. This also shelves off Bincy, which he might have been planning to take away. Had to use something else. Informant can actually grab these Scarabs, which is kind of an interesting play as well. They are bronze units, so you can steal them. And then we can actually use line of credit on this Duchess Informant. So we'll pull out Igor here. And we'll go to 9 coins. Flying Redanian's going to come out. It goes to our ranged row, which isn't unfortunate. We needed that one more space in order to proc our Fallen Knight properly. So that really is a bummer. But we might see some... We might see... oh, Imperial Diplomacy. I thought we might see a last rate do some massive damage here. Alright, dipping the Pontar actually works out well for us. He clears up some space. Honestly, I'm happy about that. We'll go for Fallen Knight here. Then use Igor to spawn another one. Then we get those 2 coins. We're back on top. And we are playing on red coin here, so he's feeling the pressure. If he can't beat us, he's going to be in some real trouble. I think line of credit here on the Duchess Informant might be best, just in case he has some other spying points. But Flying Redanian would be most points. My struggle with Redanian is I don't know where it's going to come up. And if it comes back to this row, we'll be in the same situation normally. Here we can get rid of it, use Igor, spawn another Fallen Knight. And we basically have taken this game and run away with it. Oh, so the other reason I didn't want to do it is because Igor was going to cost 5 coins. Sorry, I should have explained that too. But our leader ability gives us 3 spawns, so that's 3 points for us every time we use 1 leader charge. Bribery is a risky move. He does have 3 coins. So Roderick gets him some value, but probably not enough. And we do have some passive... We have some passive engines. He doesn't really have any here, right? So we know we're going up to 8 coins. Bincy's going to take those coins. So here we can go ahead and pass. And we will be up at least 1 card. 61 to 60. That worked out well for us. I'm pretty happy. We did have to spend a lot here. And he does have the opportunity to bleed us next round, but we're sitting pretty at 9 coins. We've got Von Hurst, Fallen Knight, ready to go for a second round bleed situation. We just need to keep our coins up, and I think a Savala in a short round is going to get us to where we need to go. Eavesdrop really good here with our Lonely Champions. They aren't going to see much value. The other cards I do want to keep So I'm really happy to see Eavesdrop, actually. This is just such a great way to get to 9 coins. It's a good thinning card. Fire Disciple is worth more than Lonely Champion. Lonely Champion just is not great value for us. And because we have Flying Redanian, that Eavesdrop gets us points on the board, so we're able to pass. We're going to get first and last say. So we just have to be a little bit thoughtful about how we want to use that. Here, I think Line of Credit is probably the least helpful of all of these cards. Imki, Cleric of Flaming Rose are both pretty good. I think Sucrus and Savala would have been a little bit better. I know I can get one of them, so I'm going to take a chance with this Cleric. See what else I can get. Savala is in hand, so now I can grab any Sucrus or Roderick, whomever I want. The question is, what does he have? We have not seen Vincent come out. We have not seen Brothans come out. We have not seen any locking cards come out. So I'm a little bit nervous about throwing Imki down and putting a shield on her. So I think I'm just going to put her down at 5. Nilfgaard doesn't have any great 5-point removal cards except for Assassination. But you usually don't see that in a double cross deck. I could be wrong though, so we'll just have to see. The fact that this now has a spying status on it could be problematic for me, but I'm not terribly worried. Here I actually think we'll go ahead and put down Saul. We'll only go to 8 coins, but that's fine. And then we can use Von Hurst to get to finesse the specific number of coins that we want with Congregation. Trying to think if there's anybody else we'd want here. Sucrus could be really good next to Saul. So maybe we'll actually, since she already has status, I'm going to go ahead and give her a shield. And then I'm going to bring out Sucrus just to protect Saul. Everything else is kind of just slow moving. I don't really want to bring out the other engines quite yet. He still has 5 cards, and I really want him to get stuck with something really crappy from me. Like, if he could get stuck with an Eternal Fire Disciple, a Congregation, and a Savala, each of those is only going to play for 6 coins for him. The Sucrus is just going to make sure the best removal he can get here is the 6-point Sucrus or the Imki. This Saul is not going to be touched. A hair on his head will not be harmed. And hilariously, if Hemdall comes down and goes boom, 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 nobody will take damage. Sucrus does get hit once, and Imki got hit twice. So she lost the shield. She's down. But we're okay. Von Hurst just needs a horde of 4, which he has. So I think we'll go ahead and bring him out now. Actually, let's go Eternal Fire Disciple just to see what they have. See if he has any kind of removal he's willing to use here. Von Hurst is also very, very little value for him. All 3 of my cards just really kind of a struggle for him. I think probably a better move here actually would have been to grab Mage Infiltrator and put her right between Sucrus and Saul. Would have got 3 damage. But this is an interesting play from him. Let's go ahead and get out Lieutenant Von Hurst. And we are going to go 1 coin over. I'm actually okay with that. We do miss this proc here. Well, actually, let's go ahead and proc it. We don't lose anything by doing that. We're going to go up to 8 coins. That's fine. We just need to make sure we are within grappling distance of Savala. That's really the only concern that I have. I'd like this Fallen Knight to go to range so I have more flexibility with Congregation, but I can use a leader charge to get that done too. So this leader charge makes Congregation always find full value, which can be really nice. Alright, here I think we'll go for a Fallen Knight. Go ahead and proc this. And then I think we'll sit pretty at the maximum number here. Let's go ahead and flip these two. Just want to make sure this Fallen Knight is high enough that he's going to stick to the board. I've been expecting some removal, but I don't know if we're going to see it. I'd like this Congregation and the Savala to find full value, but this is a real bummer, and I think he made the wrong choice here. Savala just plays for 6 points, although I guess he has Firesworn here. It's just kind of a choice of whether or not he wants more units on the board or not. And I think at this point he may just be trying to row block me. So we need to make sure this Savala finds full value. That 11-point unit is more than the amount that Fallen Knight is going to get boosted. Saul is going to miss out on his boost unless we proc one of these units here. So Lieutenant Von Hurst is not going to proc the unit, but we will at least get one spawn as long as he doesn't cover us up there. But he's only going to be able to spawn one unit as well. So his row blocking really comes back to bite him. And we just have to count this out. But Saul here is going to take the 3-coin boost by 1. So instead I'm going to spend 3 coins and flip 3 units to get the guaranteed win. So, good game. Lots of fun. I think the Assimilate deck was very interesting. He was able to pull some stuff over. I think he played well. We just had a better deck. So, but I do think, like I said, I would strongly suggest you use this leader ability. Having Savala in there for those 17 points is well worth it. But then you can kind of go all in on round 1 and still have a meaty round 3, as you've just seen. So, I love it. I think you guys will like it too. But test this out. Honestly, you didn't even get to really see Sucrus next to Ozar Scarabs, but it's pretty fun. It's a really good way to play against Skellige. I was really expecting to queue against Skellige. Sorry that we didn't, but you got to see 3 good games. And I think if you try this out, you'll queue against Skellige. You'll have a lot of fun. They don't have any good way to just destroy a Scarab. All of their cards basically do damage. So unless it's already damaged, which obviously it can't be, or it's dead. Since it's only worth 1 point. So lots of fun stuff you can do. Let me know what comments, suggestions you have. Put those down below in the comments. And then please leave a like, subscribe, really helps the channel. And until next time, get out there and keep on Gwenting.